guys. It is Monday, November 22nd. It is about it is about 6:46 in the morning. I'm heading to work. I was gonna do like a little vlog for like the week. It is the week of Thanksgiving here in the United States, and I'm getting ready to, celebrate with family and stuff on, I almost said Friday, not Friday, Thursday. So getting ready to do that. And let me just tell you, over the weekend, I do have a couple videos I need to edit and do voiceovers and things on. Over the weekend, I got my COVID booster shot on Saturday, and let me just tell y'all, it took me out. I had both of my shots, obviously, and I had my last one in February, and neither one of those did much of anything. They didn't hurt when I had the shot. My arm hurt after the first one, but that was it. The second one, I just felt a little tired for a little bit. It didn't even last that long. I just felt kind of tired. But this one, you guys, I don't know, my immune system was not having it. Didn't like it, and it took me out. So I had it Saturday morning, and we did do some shopping at Walmart. And I don't think I have any footage for that one. See, this is how bad it is. I don't even remember, and it was literally like 2 days ago. But went shopping at Walmart, got a few things, got a few little Christmas things and a couple clothing items for Jackson, and came home, and I was fine. We were fine. Did a lot of stuff around the house. Jackson had made a banner for Thanksgiving that he had colored during school, and we had to cut it out and put it all together. So I spent a good hour and a half cutting it out and putting it on the yarn and hanging it up and all of that. And I was starting to feel a little tired, but it wasn't bad. We had lunch, watched a movie. I think we watched Ferdinand. So we watched a movie. Yeah. Everything was fine. I was a little tired, like I said. But then towards the end of the evening, we were watching Home Alone. My husband wanted to watch Home Alone, with us. So we were watching that, and I started feeling like just really run down and really tired. And I was like, man, I'm tired. So I went to sleep, and in the middle of the night, I kept waking up, and I was in like, when you have the flu, you just get really achy. So I was so achy. It was awful, you guys, like so bad, to the point where I was like, I wanted to drag myself out of bed to get some Tylenol or something, but I didn't, and I should have, but I didn't. I did check my temperature a couple times, and it was higher than normal, but it wasn't actually at a fever. So, I was like, well, this is just the way it is. And then yesterday, so I got up in the morning, took some Tylenol, was still feeling like poo, and I literally spent the whole day yesterday on the couch. Alright guys, I'm going to get through this traffic, and I'll come back and tell you the rest of the story. Okay, anyway, so just all day yesterday, I just felt so run down, and I did actually have a low-grade fever at one point. It was only at like 100. I never got above that I know of. I wasn't like incessantly taking my temperature or anything like that, but I don't know, I felt awful, and I was like, man, this COVID shot took me out. I was like dead all day yesterday. The only thing I did is I laid on my couch. So I got up in the morning, I went out, I made coffee, I did drink some coffee, I laid on my couch, I literally couldn't figure out what I wanted for breakfast. I had some frozen meals, like my work lunches, in the freezer, and I was like, you know what, y'all, I ate not broccoli, I ate cauliflower mac and cheese for breakfast. My husband said, well, it's your body. You do what you want. I was like, oh gosh. So I had that for breakfast, and then I laid on the couch. You guys, I stared at my phone. I napped. I watched movies. My son, Jackson, was enjoying his day. He stayed in his PJs all day. He played video games and watched movies. That's what we did all day. And I napped a lot yesterday. So I told my husband, I was like, you know, I lucked out with the first two. I said, but man, this third one, it's the one that got me. You know, I got all the symptoms. I didn't get the, because I was reading and I was like, you know, what are the symptoms, you know, the reactions you can have to the COVID vaccine? And one of them was nausea and vomiting. And I was like, well, I didn't get that. You know, I did get a little bit of heartburn every time I ate, which was a little weird, but yeah, it was nothing major. But man, I just felt awful yesterday, so I didn't get much of anything done. I spent the day doing nothing. So, man, this traffic today, I don't know. I gotta get through here, you guys. People driving slow. Don't know why. Anyway. My husband's like, oh, you should call out of work. I only have to work like 2.5 days this week. So I'm trying to get my hours because we just bought a car. Not this car, obviously. This is the same car you guys always see me in. But we bought a car that is still being shipped to the dealership. The last we heard, it was still on a boat in the ocean. It was supposed to be delivered yesterday. I don't know if my husband's going to call today to see, but if it was delivered yesterday, then we're going to try on Wednesday after I get out of work to drive up to pick it up. The thing is I work an hour away from my home, and the dealership where we got the car, because it was one of the only places to get it, everything is crazy right now, is about an hour and a half away from my home the other way. So on Wednesday, if I get out early enough, I'm going to drive an hour home, pick up my husband and my son, and then drive an hour and a half the other way to go hopefully pick up our new car, and then drive an hour and a half back home, and then prep everything for Thanksgiving dinner on Thursday. But the good thing is we don't eat meat, so we don't have to make a turkey, which is the biggest, that's the biggest thing with Thanksgiving is the turkey. So yeah, I don't have to worry about a turkey. I just have to worry about all the sides. So I'm making, let's see, what am I making? I'm making a vegan green bean casserole. Actually, I don't think that one's vegan. That one's vegetarian, but it's always vegetarian. So vegetarian green bean casserole. I'm making a vegan sausage stuffing. I'm going to use the breakfast sausage, the Beyond Meat breakfast sausage, the little links, not the patties, the links, because I think the links taste better. They taste more like sausage. My grandfather always made sausage stuffing, and there's a recipe that we use. I know a lot of people make sausage stuffing, but there's like a specific recipe that we use that tastes, it's never going to taste like grandma's or granddad's, but we use a specific recipe. It tastes really good. It reminds me of, my childhood Thanksgivings and stuff like that. So anyway, so I'm making that. I might try to do a video on that one, just so you guys can see how that's made. It's super simple, you guys, but if you don't like poultry seasoning like rosemary and sage, it's probably not the one for you, because it's got a ton of it in it, and that's the way that my grandfather liked it. So, and that's the way that we grew up eating it, so it's the way that we like it too. But anyway, so we're doing that. I'm doing sweet potatoes, mashed potatoes, I said green bean casserole, sausage stuffing, rolls, collard greens, corn for Jackson, because that's one of the only vegetables that he really, not one of the only vegetables he likes, but it's one of the only ones, like cooked vegetables that he'll eat is corn. He loves his raw veggies, not a big fan of the cooked ones. What else? Is that it? I am making a pumpkin pie as well, but I might wait until after Thanksgiving to do that. So my brother and my sister-in-law are coming. They're making their own turkey at home, and they're going to make desserts. And she asked me if there was anything specific that we, like specific ingredients that we're avoiding or whatever. And I talked to my husband about it. And again, like I said, a while back, we kind of, it's not that we've fallen off the vegan train or anything like that. We've just kind of decided, my husband's always kind of been this way, and I've just recently started, it's not that I'm not worried about it, but we decided not to worry about it so much for the holidays. So certain things like dairy, and eggs, we're kind of leaning more towards the vegetarian side for the holidays, just because it's just so difficult, and I know people say, well, it's not really that difficult because it wasn't last year, and we had purely vegan Thanksgiving last year, and it was great. It really was. It was great, but I also felt a little, I don't know, like nobody wanted to come to our house because we were newly vegan, and they were like, oh, we're gonna have to eat vegan food. Nobody wanted to come, so we didn't have any guests for Thanksgiving. And yeah, so anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so being vegan during the holidays, it's easy, but it's also hard. I don't know exactly how to explain it. Maybe it's just us. Maybe it was just the way we were feeling, last year, whatever, feeling some type of way about it. But, it's not that we don't, it's not that we're not worried about what we're putting in our bodies and stuff like that. I don't know why I'm trying to justify this. We are just eating what we want for the holidays. That's what I'm trying to say. We're just going to eat what we want for the holidays. Anyway. So yeah, I'm going to make a couple pies, I think. I have the stuff to make pumpkin pie. And I bought a pre-made, like the Marie Callender, I don't know how to say that name. The frozen pie. I bought one of the Dutch apple pies. They are so good, and they are vegan. Accidentally vegan. Not the greatest for you, of course, but they are vegan. So, I have one of those in the freezer as well. I don't think I'm going to make that for Thanksgiving. I might save that one for Christmas. But yeah. Anyway, now that I've rambled on about that for a hot minute, what are you guys doing for Thanksgiving? Are you going anywhere? Are you making anything? What's a tradition in your family that you try to keep alive? Our tradition, honestly, is the sausage stuffing. It's so funny, but it really is a tradition for us to have sausage stuffing. And it really just reminds me of my grandparents. That's where we went every Thanksgiving, every year. We went to my grandparents' house in Gaithersburg, Maryland. Actually, it's not Gaithersburg, Rockville, Maryland. And yeah, we just have this huge dinner. We never sat in the kitchen. The adults got to sit in the kitchen, and the children, including my cousins who were adults actually at the time, but they were still considered the children, we all sat in the living room, and my grandfather usually would sit in the living room too. He'd watch football. He was a big Redskins fan, so he would watch the Redskins, and we would all sit in the living room and eat our dinner. And then I used to love going into my grandparents' attic and digging through all the stuff that they had in their attic. They had, my grandfather smoked cigars, so the house always smelled like cigars. And they had old cigar boxes, like full of little trinkets and things like that. And I would go through, my grandmother saved all kinds of things for my parents, like their old toys and old pictures that my, like, mother and my aunts and uncle had drawn. So I used to go up there and just dig through things. Used to love digging in their attic. They had this tiny little house in Rockville, Maryland. That I just used to love doing that. So that's a big thing for us. You know, the only thing that reminds me of that, it's so funny, the things that remind you of, you know, other things. Anyway, I just think it's funny, like certain things like that will remind you of, you know, times in your life or things that happened, or, you know, certain people. So anyway, I don't know what else to talk about. I'm really hoping this week goes by quickly as far as, you know, work goes. I have a 4-day weekend coming up, you guys. I am so excited about it. It's really foggy out this morning. Sometimes you can't tell if it's fog or smoke because they do a lot of controlled burns here as well. And the other day I was like, man, it's really foggy out, but it was like kind of looked weird. It was like hanging weird in the sky, and I was like, then I started to smell it, and I was like, oh, that's smoke, that's not fog. But anyway, I really hope that this week goes well. Last week also kicked my butt, and I, you know, part of me feels like maybe that's why the COVID shot actually made me feel so bad, is I was really run down from the week. I, you know, was stressed out and just not feeling my best, really tired and everything after the week that I had at work. And I feel like, you know, part of that, you know, part of the way that it made me feel might be because I was feeling so bad from work, you know, that my body was like, no more, you know, kind of thing. Because the other two, I feel like I felt fine with the other two, and I felt fine before them. Like I wasn't that stressed out about work and stuff like that. So I feel like, you know, maybe that's one of the reasons I felt so bad, but it really kicked my butt. It really did. I've been listening to Christmas music the last couple days, just in the car. I'm not really doing it at home or anything like that, but I've listened to some Christmas music to just kind of get my spirits up. You know, this, like I said, this past week at work has been it's been a real struggle. It's been very stressful. Ooh, a Christmas tree stand. Anyway, it's too early for a Christmas tree, you guys. Although, I'm putting mine up on Friday. So Black Friday is when I put my Christmas tree up, but ours is fake. If I bought one, because I've bought a real tree, this place actually has nice trees as well. I bought a real tree for the first couple years that we lived here. I bought a real tree, but this region here, it's so warm still that the tree doesn't last until Christmas. They really don't. They do not last until Christmas. So if you're in this area, I'm just going to say Eastern North Carolina, Southeastern North Carolina, I would just suggest getting a tree, you know, maybe a couple weeks before Christmas. Maybe not, you know, like a month before Christmas, because it doesn't last, or at least mine didn't. I was doing all the things, you know, we cut off a part of the bottom, we drilled holes in it, we were putting, you know, I don't even remember, sugar in the water, I can't remember what it was, none of that was working. And we did that for a couple years, and finally I was like, you know what? We're just gonna get a fake tree. You know, I always loved a real tree. When we were kids, we used to go to a Christmas tree farm, you know, and I just remember it, like, you know, when you're a kid, you know, there's memories you have from when you're a kid. They're always so much, like, better than what they really were. Like, I feel like if I talk to my mom about those times when we went to the Christmas tree farm, I feel like it was probably like this huge ordeal for them to have to wrangle the kids, and, you know, in the snow, and, you know, everybody's wet and cold and whatever. But for me as a kid, those memories are, you know, there was a sleigh, and they would take you on a sleigh ride to the tree, you know, to where the trees were, and then you could get out and you really just could wander around and find the perfect Christmas tree in the snow with your family. And then my dad would cut it down, and we'd, you know, take it home. It was always this giant tree. It was always a huge tree. We had 12-foot ceilings in our house, and sometimes our trees would touch the ceiling. Yeah, so I'm used to having a real tree. I always love having a real tree, but, you know, after we moved here, it's just not, I don't know. It is feasible to have a real tree here. It really is, but you just have to wait. Like, I feel like you have to wait until a couple weeks before Christmas, and I want to decorate before that. I want my tree up to be, you know, tree to be up before that. So, anyway, y'all. When do you guys decorate for Christmas too? Do you guys decorate before Thanksgiving, after Thanksgiving? Is it like right before Christmas? You know, like I said, we've always done the day after Thanksgiving. So Black Friday, we've always decorated for Christmas. I already have a few little things that my husband's already like, why do you have this up? It's too early for Christmas. Thanksgiving hasn't even happened yet, whatever. So I'm like, I know, but, you know, like, I don't know. I'm ready for it, you guys. I'm ready for the cheer. I'm ready for the holidays. I am excited to have family, and I don't know, you guys. It's been a rough year, and it's been a rough year for a lot of people, and I am ready. I'm ready to just spend some good time with my family and, you know, have some fun. I gotta think of some games to play for Thanksgiving with my family. Do you guys do any games or anything? I've got a couple board games I might pull out. Maybe we'll play some board games. That'll be fun if anybody wants to play. Anyway, guys, I am getting ready to get into the next town where all the traffic starts again. So I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.